how do we get clarity when we are stuck? Because our mind might be working in overdrive or dwelling.
Yep.
How do we get that clarity? Just go, okay, where am I at?
Yep.
Am I actually looking backwards?
Yep.
What's happening in the current moment?
Yep.
And where do I need to be in terms of forward focusing, like Sean mentioned?
So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and get it out of your head. Get it out of your head. You're not going to solve it in your head because it's going to be this massive big bowl of soup and it's just going to mix around and right. So start to write stuff down. Write things down. And when I say write things down, I'm not saying type. Don't type it into your phone. Don't type it on a laptop. Grab a pen, grab a piece of paper the old-fashioned way and write it down. And that actual process of writing is incredibly therapeutic. And even if you're feeling stuck with writing, write these words, B-L-A-H, B-L-A-H, B-L-A-H. Just start writing that. And all of a sudden, what will happen is then some stuff will free up for you and then an idea will pop out and another idea will pop out and another idea will pop out and then you'll be on a roll. But actually write stuff down. So put down whatever's going on in your head, get it down, then get it right. So again, this is about progress over perfection. A lot of people say, well, I don't really want to get it down because it mightn't be right. Get it just down on paper. Then you sit back, you have a good look at it. You challenge yourself, you scribble some stuff out, you draw circles over there, you highlight this. It doesn't matter. It's your plan, but just write it down on paper. Get it out of your head. Get it down, then get it right.
Because Tony, something that I reflect on as well that may help the viewers is reading a book and maybe taking notes from the book. Some of the mindset challenges come up, or the mindset ideas come up through other people's writing, other people's experiences, other people's stories.
Yeah.
So like we're sharing stories today, something might come out of this. Are you actually taking notes around that? Tony, a lot of your coaching clients, are they taking a lot of notes in terms of, having that experience or getting that aha moment?
Well, I'll tell you one of the things that fascinates me about this, right? So we do this, we've done this 102 times, and you and I have talked a gazillion times in between that. But I love the fact that as we're talking, you are often writing notes down. Right, you're always taking different little bits and pieces down, or whether that be for a quote in the next week, or whether that be just some ideas for yourself or your business, or maybe someone you're thinking of. Always the whole idea is that take some stuff out of this. We're giving of ourselves to help everybody for free on a Sunday morning. Take some ideas and run with it. But like you said, you don't just have to rely on Luke and I. Get a podcast, do a YouTube, read a book. Look, there's so many ways to get information. I love 2021. I just love it. Because finding knowledge is not the issue anymore. There is so much stuff out there. You're feeling unstuck? Guess what? Google it up. Google up, feeling unstuck, help. Whatever it might be, it's all there for you. It's about just taking the effort to be a little bit resourceful in that regard.
Yeah, so anything else in regards to clarity for people in terms of how they become unstuck, Tony?
Well, the first bit is to get it down, and then the next bit, as I said, is to get it all right. So just take it, write it all down in front of you, and then just sit with the whole clarity side of things. Don't force this process, right? Because it may take you a day, a week, a month, a year. Like, it could take you a long time to get absolute clarity, but that's okay. Don't force it. Don't put yourself under pressure. Just allow yourself to be free with this and just see what comes up for you. And there'll be different things. And like I said, then there'll be the ideas side of things, but then also there'll be the taste and learn, test and learn, the tasting, the smorgasbord, analogy. Taste different things. Taste, try different things, right? That's how you're going to then figure out through process of elimination, these are the things that I love and these are the things that I don't love. And that's cool.
I got a couple of comments coming through. Sean
Please.
says, when we got fired just before we could quit, it was awesome flow. Temporarily got into another toxic job and realized straight away that it wasn't for me and quit that one. Went with the flow and opportunities to go through Sydney and meet legends, including Luke, finally. And we've never felt better ever since. The clarity came and getting away from the toxicity. And now I have the best role I've ever had, which is awesome. Kelly says physically writing really does work. The ideas stick in your mind when you write things down, which is Awesome.
I just want to go back to Sean's point. So the thing that I love about Sean's example there is that he put himself out there. You know, I remember seeing some of the videos of you guys when you met, and you had videos with Cheryl and Corn and others at that time when him and Kelly made the trip to Sydney. But they put themselves out there. They put themselves out there to meet new people, to see what's going on, to be open to the possibilities. That's how it all works. It's about building connections, and you just never know. You just never know. You put yourself out there, you ask some questions, you be a genuine person, and things will pop up for you. And they might not pop up instantaneously, but it's a case of be consistent with this, be persistent with this, and things will work out okay.
Well, Tony, I Googled, how do you become unstuck? And it's the first one is 7 ways to get yourself unstuck. Number 1.
There you go.
Let go of the past. Listen to the stories in your head.
That's it. We said it. Stop dwelling on the past.
Where you're at right now. Secondly, change your perspective.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. Thirdly, start with small changes. 1 step, what we talk about.
That's it.
Fourth, explore your purpose.
That's it.
Maybe writing things down.
Taste.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Belief is a big one. You know, we did that whole session at your coaching day about beliefs, and you know, telling some of my story about my beliefs that actually has seen me, you know, being successful in various areas. 6, practice being hopeful. Being hopeful.
Well, practice being hopeful is a mindset.
Telling yourself that message.
Yeah. So well, again, if you think about the possibilities, if you have some faith, I'm going to give this a go and see where it ends up. It's the whole mentality of B&I or networking generally, which is givers gain, and you want to just give of yourself, add value to people. It's interesting. So I'm not a huge TV watcher, but I've come across this show on Foxtel with Grant Cardone. It's the Undercover Billionaire. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not. And it's a process where he has $100 and he's got 90 days to turn $100 into $1 million. And it's fascinating. I'm really enjoying it. Anyway, the point is that how he got started is he gave of himself first, because he only had $100. So he had nothing to give, but he just gave the knowledge that he had, did things for people for free, and just, you know, kept helping other people, kept connecting with people because of the view of you just never know what's going to happen. You've got this, you've got to put yourself out there. You're sitting at home on your couch, complaining about being stuck. Well, guess what? That isn't serving you. You've got to get yourself out and about and do different things.
Absolutely. Number 7, Tony, consider talking to a professional.
And I must have written that. So perfect. But absolutely. And but that's the framework, right? So it's about let go of the past. Like, it's hard to move forward if you're carrying this big bag of crap around on your shoulders, right? So you want to let go of the past. You want to have something that's in front of you to work towards, and then you want to just slowly but surely take, you know, one day at a time, left foot in front of the right, left foot in front of the right. You know, that's how you overcome fears. Is you start small and you create evidence of success, right? So you just do one thing and you go, wow, you sit back at the end of that something. You make one phone call, you have one employee conversation, you knock on one door, you put one offer in, whatever it is, and you go, that wasn't that bad, right? You do another one, and guess what happens? You build momentum and away you go.
I guess another thing that I consider as well, are you actually listening to what, you know, people's advice that's out there, whether it's right or wrong, but listening to what's your environment, listening to what the world's telling you, or what is actually coming back to you with responses, with, you know, things that are actually happening as a result of that. So it is really interesting to really consider, are you actually listening to what's going on? And maybe finding that space can give you a little bit of clarity around that as well.
Yeah, and also adding to that, don't be one-dimensional. So don't just listen to one person, or don't just read from one person, you know. So have a variety of different thoughts, you know, because one person has their own opinion, but when you now line up a few different thoughts on particular topics, now you're able to have some analytical thinking, you know, and you're able to challenge yourself. Okay, great. So I'm now starting to see, you know, both sides of the coin, for example. So, you know, open yourself up to listen, but do it in a variety of different sources, from a variety of sources.
Yeah, very important. Tony, the third point I wanted to talk about today is what do you need to work on mentally and physically?
To get unstuck, or what you need to work on is firstly getting clear on what's in front of you. So that thing in front of you, because if you think about it from a, let's say you're stuck, let's say we're in quicksand, right? You need something in front of you to grab a hold of to pull you out of the quicksand, right? So it might be a stick or something like that. So imagine that. Imagine you've got this something. What's your stick? What's that something that's in front of you that you can, grab a hold of to start to get you to move forward? That might be something that's in front of you for a day. It might be something that's in front of you for a week or 2 weeks or a month or a year or whatever it is. But it's got to be in front of you. When it's in front of you, now I've got something to move towards. And again, I use the example of my son, going through his challenges last year, and he found some purpose. He found this online shoe business, and he's worked at it, and he's sold 20 grand worth of shoes. He actually gave up his job at Hungry Jack's because $13 or $14 an hour versus selling several $100s worth of shoes every week. He couldn't justify going to Hungry Jack's, but he had some purpose in what he was doing. So find that something in front of you, and if you can't find it immediately, keep looking for it. Keep looking for it. It's out there. It's out there. Don't give up, because the moment you give up, you'll never, ever, ever find it. So keep looking for that thing that you wanted. And I think about my journey. I wanted to get involved in property development, property. I never thought about being a business coach, and it was all property for me. And I got into property and went, you know what? I like property, but I don't love it, but I love being able to help people. So I never started off wanting to be a business coach, but that's how it's ended up, because I put myself into the position to have all different things come at me, and for me to decide, what I liked and what I didn't.
As a parent, Tony, I've got a question for you.
Please. Yep.
Seeing someone come out of a regular job like the Hungry Jack's job, and then doing something that could be a bit up and down in terms of income and so forth. How did you see that for yourself as a parent?
Well, he does a couple of things. So I have a business which is around teaching small businesses or entrepreneurs to move forward. So it'd be a bit hypocritical of me if I didn't have the same viewpoint with my son. It's his second business, actually. He had his first business when he was 12 or 13. It was a sticker business. He used to be into scooter riding way back then, and him and his mate came up with a design. He got online. He figured out he could buy 1,000 stickers for $70. He worked out his own break even. He went around to the skate parks and sold these stickers for 50 cents each. That was his first business. He took that money, then put the brand on a hoodie, and it was fantastic. So he's got that entrepreneurial flair about him. So it's about letting him, So what about for you then, Tony? For me, well, I'm okay with it. The bit that I wasn't okay with, in the spirit of transparency, was he started off with doing studies. So he started off wanting to do videography studies in term 1 of this year, and he came to me at Easter and said, "Dad, I'm giving up my studies." And I went, "Oh, hang on a second." And I actually connected out with a few friends, a few people that we both know, and they actually said, "You know what? It's okay. Like, you don't need to have studies in videography. There's certainly going to be plenty of professions where you do need studies." I was with a heap of lawyers yesterday, so yes, you need studies in that profession, but from a videography point of view, you don't necessarily need to have formal studies. It's more around the practical side of things. But my initial reaction was, "Ooh, are you doing the right thing?" And that was perhaps some of my beliefs around studies, and I did a degree, albeit a long time ago. But after some quick investigation, I soon settled down.
Well, I know Gary Vee talks about that as well, whether it's necessary to go to university or do courses based on things, or you can actually, like you said, sit down and Google it, Tony.
Just Google it up. Well, it's interesting, right? So talk about Google. So Google and Apple now don't require you to have a formal college education to get a job there. So 2 of the world's largest businesses, and they are now adopting the practice of, if you can do the job, you're good enough. And there's plenty of people in the computer space, in the coding space, that are, hacking away or doing coding or whatever, and they're incredibly talented. Why do they need to go to university to then get a job in that field? So to me, with those guys starting that, given they're 2 of the world's leading businesses, then I can only see it's going to be a matter of time when that starts to translate into other businesses, right across the world.
Sean says, it was absolutely amazing and awesome. Had no idea it was going to go, especially when the GPS dropped out, laugh about, and turned out even more amazing every day. I've learned to maintain and encourage the great feelings and clarity ever since. So that was on his trip to Sydney. Listening is critical, he also says, to progress. There's a reason we have 2 ears and only 1 mouth. Pass on your congratulations to your son, Tony.
Thank you.
And it's great to see. Tony Gallagher's just come on. Good morning. Looks like a nice Queensland day. Says
normally
Tony.
is normally is Tony. Normally is. So yes, that's why I live here. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm still waiting for that endorsement from Queensland Tourism. I'm going to keep chipping away. You just never know.
Absolutely. You never know where your next dollar is going to come from. So it is all about putting yourself out there. And that's what we're doing each and every day. Hopefully the people out there, you may be stuck in a situation right now. You may be looking to get unstuck out of that situation. Hopefully some of these tips and tricks can actually help you to get a little bit more clarity about where you are right now. Think about getting away from the past thoughts or past ideas and things that were happening, and actually think about that forward focus for yourself. And look at, there's plenty of clarity out there, clarity in the sky, clarity in the Brisbane River.
Doesn't get any better
in that river, isn't there?
There's a lot. It's an incredibly clear river, Luke. Incredibly. So no, just in a beautiful, beautiful spot here today. So absolutely gorgeous. So look, you're right. The first thing is to summarise. Stop dwelling on the past. So challenge yourself while you're dwelling, and then start to come up with something that's in front of you. Come up with a goal. As I said, that goal doesn't have to be a 5-year goal. It can be a 1-day goal. It can be a 1-week goal. Just come up with something that's in front of you, and then just put one foot in front of the other. The other piece, which we haven't touched on, is just reward yourself. Every time you do something, reward yourself, congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back. Doesn't have to be a financial reward. It could simply be the recognition that, you know what, I thought that was going to be difficult, but I'm so proud of the fact that I actually did it. I leant into it and I did it, and good on me. Yay me.
Yay me. You say with that, there's so much passion.
Yay me. I'm yelling it out. So now all my friends can hear me. So I'm able to yell out on a Sunday. You're not. I'm out here in the park. So
yeah, I know. I've been getting a bit of trouble from the neighbours, but that aside, Gabby says, thanks guys for a great session again. Yes, it's important for us to consider what's going on, because each and every one of us have periods that we get stuck or things don't go right. And then how do we actually get ourselves into that new sphere, into that new idea, and into that new path for ourselves?
But like you've said plenty of times here too, Luke, on our sessions, is that a lot of the topics that we come up and a lot of the ideas, it's actually great for us to hear them and remind ourselves of what's going on. And, I'll let me speak on behalf of myself. I got so much crap going on in my life, right? So many challenges going on in my life. And so it's I go through all these things just like everyone. I have the same human frailties that everyone else does. It's just that I'm fortunate enough to have different strategies to be able to draw on. But, I suffer from fear. I suffer from procrastination at times. There's all sorts of stuff that I go through. I go through doubts. I go through imposter syndromes, etc. But I also don't let that, paralyze me. I have strategies to help me move forward once I identify that, that's where my head's at.
Oh, one of my strategies is just go out for a run.
Well, it's the physiology thing, right? So think back to the other Tony, Tony Robbins, and that's what he talks about. He talks about change up your physiology. So go back to, we talked about getting stuck. Quite often you might get stuck. You might be stuck in your life, but you might be stuck with a particular task. You might have to do a task. It might be something at your job, and you might need to come up with an answer. You might get stuck. So it might be as simple as get up off your chair, walk to the kitchen, make yourself a cup of coffee, get up off your chair, go outside, walk around the block, whatever it might be. And that in itself can be very liberating and start to just lubricate some of the thoughts to help you move forward.
Ken Cones has just made his arrival into the Facebook Live. Good on you, Ken, for coming on. Says morning to Luke and Tony. Ken doing his great work down there on the southern areas or outskirts of Sydney, serving the people with those delicious ice creams. I didn't know if we were going to get into that subject today, but I'm sure that people can be less stuck when they're having an ice cream.
Well, that's why I eat them. That's why I have it multiple times daily. It just helps lubricate things and helps free me up. That'll do. That's my story, and I'm sticking to that story. So that's it.
Well, how many times you have to reward yourself a day? So you're obviously very successful at the moment. So plenty of reward.
I had birthday cake and ice cream last night. It was a big day yesterday. Plenty of rewards in the Meredith household.
Fantastic. All right, guys, have a great Sunday wherever you are. And think about, if you are stuck, move forward and work on yourself. And thanks to all the viewers for coming on today. Great audience and great comments coming through. See ya. Bye for now.
Bye.